First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Yahweh is who this world ignorantly calls God. Yahushai is who this world ignorantly calls Jesus. Bahashim means in the name, Rakah means spirit, and Kodash means holy. And that's on the Paleo Hebrew. I also want to give double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to title this lesson yet, but I pretty much wanted to go into this news article here, right? The Colorado Supreme Court removes Trump from 2024 ballot, right? And pretty much bring out some points how this might bring a civil war, right? This might bring civil unrest, right? Because here it is, you have all these die-hard Trump fans, right, that are looking at this going on right now, and they're thinking, wow, they're taking away the chances of Trump being president. Wow, that's not fair. Okay, we need to do something. Okay, this government is corrupt. Blah 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 blah. Right wing, left wing. Right. Ultimately, it's controlled division. Right. It was orchestrated that way to constantly have the people at odds. Right. Because if all these Americans were to get together, right, in one mindset and realize that the government is shitting on them, right, they would all get together and have an insurrection. Right. They would all go against the government, and in one day, America would fall. Okay, but the elites, they know that, right? They know that this is a possibility. So what they do is that they divide their kingdom, right? A kingdom divided, I forgot how the scripture goes, but pretty much a kingdom divided by itself, right, cannot stand, right? If your kingdom is constantly fighting, right, they're never gonna have time to agree, right? Because here it is, you have the left wing, right, which argues the points of the left wing are completely contrary to the points of the right wing. Right, but yet what you have to understand is that they're both part of the same bird. Right, they're both controlled. Left wing, right wing, it doesn't matter. They're both controlled. It's just theatrics. It's just a show. Okay, to ultimately these elites push their agenda, right? Because ultimately they want to push their digital system, right? They want to come through with the new system. In order for them to do that, right, they have to bring in chaos. And how they bring in this chaos is they use the left and the right wing, right? They set people against each other with their ideologies, okay? And this might be the beginning of that move to go digital, okay? Because we know that it was prophesied that sedition was coming. Okay, let's get some scriptures on that. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 15. It says, "For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." Right? People are going to be out here fighting. And if you go into that word sedition, it goes into conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch. Right? And that's exactly what we're going to be seeing from here. Right? People are going to start complaining. Right? Let's see if we can actually find any articles already going into it. Right, Colorado Trump ruling leads to rise in violent online rhetoric, right? And hey, it's gonna reach a point where that violence online rhetoric is gonna turn physical, right? It's gonna turn in person, okay? And people are gonna be out here protesting, right? Another January 6th, even though January 6th was a pretty much a show, right? It was orchestrated. That wasn't something organic, right? But we're gonna start seeing more intense attacks, right? More intense people, gatherings of people, right? Ultimately sedition, because first and foremost, it was prophesied, and second most, these people need to push their agenda, right? They need to get that digital system rolling, okay? And in order for that to happen, they have to destroy this current system. And how are they going to do that? And there's many ways. They might pull a terrorist attack. They might pull a blackout, right? They might pull a civil war, right, to bring in chaos and ultimately bring in more T attacks. Who knows, right? But we know that chaos has to come in order for them to bring in that order, right? Their whole solution is order out of chaos, right? Problem, reaction, solution. Okay, so we know that something is on the way. We know that 2024 is going to be a hell of a year just based on how many conditions, right? How many things are lining up, and it's just a matter of waiting, right? That's the condition of the battle, is waiting. But we'll see. Okay, we'll see if what goes on with the scenario right now. Okay, and like I was saying, people are getting pissed off because, oh, Trump, right? If they take it off the ballot, that means that he's gonna get less votes and he's not gonna become the president, right? Wrong, wrong. It doesn't matter. Okay, your vote does not matter. The presidents are predetermined. Okay, they're specifically chosen. Okay, behind all the theatrics and the shows and Trump going out there putting on a face, right? He was already been chosen. He was told what to say. Okay, there's certain boundaries that he knows he can't cross, or else they will axe him out. Right? It's just that between Biden and Trump, Trump is the lesser evil, but they're both wicked as all hell. Right? Let's get a scripture going into that. How even in the Greek Roman times, right, they were already choosing the Caesars. Right? The people weren't doing it. This is First Maccabees chapter 8 and verse 15. It says, moreover, how they had made for themselves a senate house, right, wherein 320 men sat in council daily, consulting a way for the people, to the end they might be well ordered. Right, and this is where America gets it from. It gets it from Rome, right? Rome was the one that established the senate house. That's why it says in, I think it's Daniel chapter 7, that fourth beast was more diverse than any of the other beasts, right? Because it had the Senate, okay? It had that order of people sitting down and pretty much ruling between themselves, not just normally how it was where you had the king, right? Then after the king died, it went to his son, the king's son, and going down that lineage, right? Here, the Caesar, right, the president, the man in charge was chosen by the Senate, and it tells you. And that they, verse 16, and that they, who? The Senate house, the 320 men that sat in council daily, and that they committed their government to one man every year, who ruled over all their country, and that all were obedient to that one, and that there was neither envy nor emulation among them. Right? The Senate were the one, were the men, right? That house of body, they were the people that chose that one man, the Caesar. And it's the same thing here today. Okay, it's the same thing here today. But the difference is that it's not even the Senate anymore, right? It's the elite. It's the elite looking how specifically choosing, okay, which one of these presidents, so-called people, can help my agenda if I put them in president? How can they help me? Blah 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 blah. Right? They have think tanks. Right? They have AI where they run solutions. Right? I was watching this movie. I forgot what it was called. I was watching the movie. Let me see if I can remember, man. It was pretty much a sci-fi movie, right? But this guy was going into how this was pretty much this guy was going into how his technology that he has, it was so advanced that from all the information that they've gathered of this guy's life, they can predict what he's gonna do tomorrow, how he's going to die, and just going down the list, right? Going down the list. Oh, it was actually the movie Don't Look Up. This movie, right? Yeah, Don't Look Up. Pretty much going into the destruction of the world via a meteor, right? But pretty much, let me see if I can show it. This guy, right? He was going into how they have technology so advanced, right? Right? It was literally this scene right here. This guy was going into how they have technology so advanced that he can literally look at the information and depict how you die, right? What you were doing, and put you in a certain category of personalities, right? And all that technology, right? It's not something new. They didn't just put this in the movie just to say it. These elites, they have that technology, right? They have it. Okay, so people say that the government is 30, 40 years ahead of what they put in the public. It's more like 100 years, right? It's just they're not gonna show that. Okay, hey, ultimately, we're living in those times, right? Knowledge has been increased, right? But back to the point, right? Back to the point I was getting at to, is that these presidents are picked, they're hand picked, and your vote doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. And ultimately, left wing, right wing doesn't matter either because it's both controlled. And we'll get a scripture on that. The left wing, the right wing, they're both part of the same bird. This is Revelation chapter 13 and verse 11. It says, "And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth." Right? And when you go into the beast, right? Beast is another way of saying empire. Right? You can read Daniel chapter 7. It goes into the breakdown of the four beasts that came out of the waters. Right? It was referring to empires. Right? And right now, we're at the last end of the Roman Empire. Okay? With this beast being America, NATO, and EU. Okay, that little horn that it talks about in Daniel chapter 7. Okay, but that's a whole nother breakdown. But pretty much this beast is talking about America, NATO, EU. It says, "And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon." Right, the two horns is signifying the left wing and the right wing. Right, but they're both part of that same animal. They're both part of the same lamb. They're both controlled. It says, "And he spake as a dragon." Dragon goes into the way he ruled. Right, he spake as a dragon. There was this ruler. His name was called Draco. Right, and his way of ruling, of speaking, was that it was all 100% by the law. Right, if you stole a piece of candy, he would put you to death. Right, it was literally authoritarian, and that's the exact same way this kingdom is being ruled. Right, strict law. It says, "And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast." Right? What was the first beast? The first beast was the Roman Empire, right? The pagan Roman Empire that fell. That it tells you whose deadly wound was healed, right? The pagan Roman Empire fell, right? It had that wound, but it was healed, right? It came back by the form of this beast, right? As it says one more time, "And he exerciseth," right? This beast we're in right now, this current system, is exercising, is doing everything that the pagan Roman Empire used to do. Okay, in every single regard. It says, "And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed." Right? Rome, the pagan Roman Empire, came back by the way of America, NATO, and EU. Okay? But just wanted to get that point with the two horns like a lamb, showing you that left wing, right wing doesn't matter. It's all controlled, right, to bring in their plans. Okay? It's all a movie. Okay? So, just want to make a quick lesson on that, bringing out information how don't get caught in these three theatrics, right? It doesn't matter, okay? And you just gotta ultimately look at the bigger picture and see that this is just a distraction, right? There are bigger things going on in the background that they always pull this distraction, right? They always pull the presidential distraction while they're in the back scene, planning some big shit up, right? Planning a curveball, right? Because while everyone is worried about, oh, Trump, this and that, right? You could have a power outage literally go, hey, overnight, blackout. You can have a terrorist attack come out of nowhere. Think 9/11, no one was expecting that, except some elite because that was planned also. But you know what I'm saying. But hopefully this was edifying. With that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Rakak Wadash, and double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Shalom to you elect. Shalom.